All right, so I'm back at the bench, and those brackets are not ready to come out of the pickle yet. They need some more time to clean off the oxidation, but I was looking through my container of spare jump rings, and as I was kind of like rummaging through, I think that this is gonna be really nice for the tops of those little brackety things. So I'm just really gonna quickly just kind of cut off 2 or 3. I only need 2, but it's always nice to have another one. And then I'm gonna use some fine jeweler's pliers to just close them. You don't really need to do this step. You know, I'm just gonna cut them in half right now, but I like to get them lined up. And then I'll hold them right where I'm planning on cutting it. So a little bit, like this is extra. So what's on the inside of the pliers is protected, and that's what I'm gonna be cutting. And this is just gonna come off. So I'm gonna move these so they don't bounce out of the way. These are my chain nose pliers that are designated for, you can see I cut the jump rings off of them. And it, you know, this saw does nick the pliers a little bit, but this is just what these pliers are for. There you go. I'll also file up against the pliers, and that makes both ends of the half jump ring flush so that it will stand up on its own. And that's like pretty enraging to people because I'm filing against the steel pliers, but this is the same file that I use when I'm filing on my miter jig, so it's already dull. So it's just, I just have a designated file that's specifically for these tools. There you go. Let's do it again. This third one that I got ready and prepared, I'm only gonna cut it like if I lose one of these guys. So I got these guys out of the pickle, and they're not like quite ready yet. You can see there's still oxidation on them, but the part that these half jump rings are gonna be soldered onto is up here. And so I need to file these anyways. You can see the flush cutters, even though they cut pretty flush, they still left these little nubs. And so I'm just gonna, with like a file swipe, I'm just gonna flush that out, and then that area where the soldering is going to take place is nice and clean and pristine and unoxidized and ready to go, as is the areas on the little jump ring halves. And so it's going to be fine, and then the rest of the oxidation will come off when I pickle them next. All right, we've got our little A-frame and my half jump ring. And then I've got some little solder pallions. They're on this side, on my side, so you might not be able to see them because of the way the camera is set up. And then I'm just gonna come in and put a little, if I can manage, a little support right on the top just to keep it in place. So I did switch to a smaller torch tip for this one. There we go. All right. That went so well. I'll let you watch me set up the other one. It's all probably gonna move anyways. But yeah, I just got my little solder pick. Evaporate that water out of the flux. Oh, it looks like I'm gonna need to reposition. This guy is not exactly in the center. Alright, that's better. I don't know, maybe I can solder it. Maybe I can solder it without that downward pressure. I don't like doing that though, because I like having things steady. But solder pallions are like completely inside the half jump ring. Great. I think it's gonna be okay though. Alright, we've got one side done. I might have to put a new... I'm just gonna get a little crumb solder pallion and put it on the other side. So this side that's to your right is completely soldered, but this side is not soldered. So I just put that soldered pallion there. I'm just gonna heat up just that side, mostly the bottom, until it flows. And I think it all just flowed. Beautiful. Okay, let's now we'll actually pickle these two components until completion. I got my little bracket with the half jump ring up on there, and I've got my other little assemblage, and so the plan is to solder these two pieces together. And I want to make a better transition at the point where they connect. You know, I want it to look like that. So I'm going to use files and flex shaft tools to basically take away this corner of both of these to make that happen. As you can tell, it's like a lot of filing and then holding it and filing and holding it up and comparing and filing and holding and comparing. So it's like, I guess they call this intuitive work, because you just do a little bit and you see, and you just keep test fitting it throughout the process. Now I just got to do the other one. Alright, now it's time for me to solder these things. The last solder jobs of the project, which is always kind of like, so I know I've talked about it before, but it's like when the last solder job is done, it's like, whoo, because I'm not gonna like melt anything into a puddle. But I shouldn't say that because I haven't done it yet, so let's do that. I just realized that I didn't show you what these look like after they got out of the pickle, so you can see. Oh man, I didn't even, for crying out loud. Okay, I'm gonna come clean with you and tell you that I did the whole first one, talked you through it, set it up, explained it, framed the shot really well. The soldering went beautifully, and I didn't turn the camera on. So, fortunately, we're making 2 of them, so you can watch me do this one, but the first one that I did is already in the pickle, and I'm really sorry. And it might be that time of day, you know, that time of day when you should stop before you melt something on the last solder job you're doing of the day. Oh, anyways, so I've got 2 cross-locking tweezers in the 3rd hand base stand, whatever. This little assemblage gets clamped in there, and then I'm gonna take my top piece and put it in these little top cross-locking tweezers, and then I'm just gonna you know, rotate it around until it's lined up. What I told you before, you know, during the part where I forgot to press record, this is my favorite part of metalsmithing. All right, so then I'm gonna brush flux all up in there. And then got my solder pallions. These are a little bit bigger. And then just gonna go in. Oop, we lost one. I think we're gonna have to go back because I'm not getting enough hold. I might have to, maybe if I held it with a pair of pliers. No, it might be too oxidized now. All right, well, let's pickle it and then we'll see what we're looking at. So both of them, I lost one. And this one, I tried desperately to put it back together, back on there. But I think it's gonna break off because I just don't think, you know, it's not, this was too far oxidized, but you can see also the solder seam there is broken open. So I have to like assess that situation. In hindsight, I'm thinking like I probably should have put these on the circles first and then embedded them in the fire brick and then put all the pieces on there. And that's what I should have done. I have to go back and resolder these two little prong guys on here. And I will, and it'll be glorious, but yeah, that's what they come together. Or whatever. I don't even really know.